groundbreaking development that is set to redefine the logistics landscape in Nigeria and across West Africa. As the region's first A-grade logistics hub, TY Logistics Park promises to bring world-class infrastructure, innovative solutions, and a new level of efficiency to an industry that is critical to trade and economic growth. This conversation will explore the market opportunities in the West African logistics sector, the vision behind TY Logistics Park, and the innovations the company is bringing to overcome long-standing challenges. Joining me now for the conversation, we have Arno van der Merwe, the Chief Executive Officer, TY Logistics Park, FZE. Great to have you on the show. Morning.
Pleasure to be on the show. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so much to unpack here, and definitely we know how critical logistics is to businesses and all. But tell me about this park here. Tell me about TY Logistics first before we go into the park.
Absolutely. I think I'd like to just take a moment to look into the challenges we're facing in the Nigerian market, especially across West Africa. The challenge we're facing is not new, it's actually systemic. It is years of underinvestment in infrastructure, limited intermodal connectivity, and fragmented customs processes. This has made the cost of moving goods across the region some of the highest in the world. According to the LCCI, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, it's calculated that about 1.7 billion USD goes missing, goes to losses, written off as losses as company is trying to engage business on an annual basis within the country. Part of this is due to inefficiencies in the port movements and also infrastructure deficits. But within that lies incredible challenges, opportunities as well as challenges. At the TY Logistics Park, we believe the solution starts with integration. We have taken the traditional clearing and forwarding, route-to-market solutions, and contract logistics. We've combined that with the free zone operations together with a digitalized system-run environment. We call it, as we believe in the logistics park, all being part of one ecosystem. Our goal is simple. It's to simplify trade, shorten the turnaround times, and give businesses the predictability they need to grow. Nigeria is at a pivotal stage at this point in time. And we believe with the right infrastructure and technology, we can transform West Africa from a very high trade corridor to a globally competitive logistics hub.
Right, because if it's too expensive, getting the goods across, then when it gets to the customer, you end up paying so much. I've had experiences where it costs me, that's the cost of transporting the goods to me. It costs me as much as the product itself. So, break it down for me now. We know Nigeria's logistics industry. We have, several players, at this point. What sets you apart?
It's quite simple. We've decided to do a few things, and we believe there's three critical factors. One is partnerships. We are not just another facility selling an open space of facilities to customers out in the market. We own the facilities. We are a Nigerian-owned business. We are the first of its kind to represent grade A facilities within the free zone. So you have all the free zone benefits. This includes corporate taxes, no corporate taxes, no withholding taxes, no value-added taxes, full repatriation of your capital, in foreign exchange, 100% ownership of your business within us. But I think something that stands out the most with our current customers is the ability to keep stock within a free zone, not having to pay the duties and only releasing those duties on a consignment basis.
Right, and definitely we keep talking about technology. Yeah. Some are talking about bringing artificial intelligence, into the logistics sector. What kind of innovation can we expect, from your company?
This is exactly what the market is looking for right now, because it's with the sudden increase. If you look at the rise of e-commerce and global, cross-regional trade and regional manufacturing, there's an absolute rise in logistics and the demand for logistics, but not just the demand for quality, reliable, and system-driven logistics. And this is where the market is having an absolute gap where we are trying to fill the space. What we try to do with systems is create end-to-end visibility for our customers, where they can make informed decisions by supplying them data about the market, them learning the market, but also being able to make the right strategic decisions and to grow their market with a market share.
Right, and it's called a TY Logistics Park.
Yeah.
So
it's TY Logistics Park, FZE.
FZE. So, somebody could hear park now and think it's a park where you go and have fun.
Yeah, a water park.
Like a water park, So talk to me about how, in practical terms, how the park works.
Right, so basically we are situated, we call it the orbital cusp of the Lekki Free Zone. So, as you know, there's an international MOU being signed with the new Lekki International Airport that's coming up, signed by SUMO. There'll be obviously the Lekki ports, and we have established ourselves within Alora City, and we are interconnected, which in general will mean we will be 10 minutes away from the actual international airports. We're 12 minutes away from the Lekki Free Zone ports, and then we'll be 40 minutes away from Lagos and 50 minutes away from Apapa. So what are we trying to do is any logistician will tell you that it's about accessibility, it's about efficiencies, and this literally ultimately drives down cost, right? And this is what we're trying to do. Our strategy is not just to play within the local Lagos market, but also to serve the rest of the region, which a lot of our international customers are looking not just from a local perspective, to export to the market, but you've got a lot of imports where the guys are trying to have access to the market and make it easier for themselves to find the reliable partners. And this is where we value our relationships with our clients, is that we're here for the long run. The fact that we are Nigerian owned means we're going nowhere. We've invested in the assets, and we have the ability to scale up as the economical conditions changed. And this also enables our customers to grow because we know that their performance is actually based on the economy growth. And this is where we scale up according to their needs.
Right. All right, talk to me about the significance of this park now. Definitely we've been talking a lot about AFCTA. We've been talking about, trying to get Africa to trade with Africa, more. So what does this mean for Nigeria, West Africa? And you did also talk about, you've been in East Africa, Southern, so you technically know a lot about Africa.
Absolutely. I think the biggest issue we're having in Nigeria right now, and I did actually my whole thesis, on Nigeria's market and performance factors, looking at the Nigerian market. And the problem is, if you look at the ports, like you rightfully mentioned, to clear an average consignment takes 18 to 21 days. This is just in the Nigerian market, which means there's a lot more of these consignments by the MSC shipping lines being pushed to the other corridors. This could be in, it could be in Ghana, it could be Cameroon. So what we're actually losing is the opportunity to become the main regional hub for logistics. So the only way we can really improve those things to become efficient around port controls, the congestions, and finding it easier to move a shipment within country. So it's moving it in country and moving out of country. What we find is, first of all, is to establish a asset-owned facility where we can control the link between route to market solutions. This refers back to the logistics park and then the ports together with the airports, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to offer an end-to-end solution which become eventually a value chain to clients in the market. And what we found working very well is literally, it's a combination of the actual fit asset to build, fit for purpose to actually customers. So what we have is we've got solutions design engineers that's been building on this for about a year, taking the various verticals, because we're not just playing in one vertical. We're playing the space of chemical, we're playing pharma, we're playing tech. So we are basically looking at the market, and we're very flexible with our solutions, because comparing it to the competitors in the market, they'll give you an open piece of facility and they'll say you have to put in your own people, your own systems, and we say we are actually partnering with our customers to deal with all the logistical complexities and all the headaches, and we basically get them to focus on the market and the market share.
Right, and I learned you're also going to be close to the Dangote refinery.
Absolutely, we actually got them in, and actually there's a bit of business that we've already, secured with the fertilizer plant, and we're already moving shipments in and out, with Dangote. So yeah, that's been ongoing. So we haven't opened up the doors officially. The launch is happening on the 8th of December, but the interest within the market has been very positive.
So we will expect the launch 8th of December.
Correct.
Then what are we expecting, after the launch?
I think it's about, obviously just making the establishment known, knowing that we are there. And also I've noticed in the industry, in Africa, people don't always realize the value of it until they start experiencing it. So it really is just getting into the market and exposing the services and getting people to understand that, resilience is all about looking at things differently. There's ways of making things more efficiently, more effectively, and eventually more cost considerate. And this is really where we're trying to pride ourselves with partnering with customers, because we believe through the necessary solutions, they can have the necessary analysis, and it is a long-term relationship that we're striving for. It's not just for Nigeria, but for the rest of West Africa. And really, it's to bring in those global standards into the Nigerian platform and basically getting the opportunity to get regional trade back to where it belongs.
Right.
And this is in Nigeria.
Fantastic. I know we like to value, how much trade, countries do with each other, continents, China, Nigeria. We like to value those trades to see if there's an increase or a decrease. So how much volume of trade are you expecting?
We've started phase one. So what we have in our logistics park, we refer to 100,000 square meters of free zone, logistics space. We've already developed the 2 grade A facilities, which is 44,050 racked locations in probably one of the best type of flooring models you'll see. It's a jointless floor with, the racked environment, but also it's taking other things into consideration. It's looking at compliance. It's looking at green edge facilities. We are utilizing 30% less of water and electricity than most of the actual warehouses within Nigeria. So we're also very, environmentally driven. So what we're trying to do from a trade perspective is, yes, the volumes are good, but it's more than that. It's about the leadership. It's about what we're trying to contribute back into the community and, obviously the market and the opportunities for the Nigerian community that we also want to attract, coming and being part of the good story. So to answer you on the volumes, we are looking at phase one to do anything between 500,000 to 1 million metric tons annually. And this is consignments coming out of the facility. This could be a combination of manufacturing, raw material products, final produced goods either coming into the country or going out of the country.
Right. And, definitely, we're trying to, get an import substitution here. We're trying to get more exports, out of Nigeria. We've seen the federal government, try to come up with policies so we don't, stay a net importer. We want to get more exports, out. And definitely now we have some, small businesses, trying to send out, goods, to the U.S., to China, and, where they have demand, for. So do you think that there's a place for small businesses?
Absolutely. We have the philosophy, and this is the team as well, with the team that I have, is every customer is important. And I have the philosophy with the team, doesn't matter how busy we are. If it's a client with 2 pallets in the warehouse, it will get the same attention as a client with 10,000 pallets in the warehouse, So, and that is with any type of need, whether it's clearing and forwarding requirements, whether it's route to market. We believe that service is the key, and this is the missing link within the Nigerian market right now. So, and we've seen this with our existing customers. They are used to going into facilities and getting involved in the operations, where we constantly have to remind them to stay out of it, enjoy their cup of coffee, and just wait for the reports coming through. So it's simply electronic, everything being pushed out in a form of a notification, and the actions gets handled from a logistics perspective through the TY Logistics business and my team.
Right. How would you describe the size, of TY Logistics?
Yes.
Would you say it's one of the biggest in Africa?
I would say in its space, yes. Because yes, there's a lot of competitors in the market that's got a lot of warehousing space. But what we offer is something unique. We own the operation. We own the assets. We're not just giving you an open piece of land. So what we have is that 100,000 square meter of logistics space, for open land and also for the facilities, but also looking at, the class of the facilities, the grade A, operations that we have with the racked environment, completely systems driven with machines, I have to be honest, which is not known in the market. It's just all about looking at efficiencies. When I take all those matrices together, and I would say from a metric scale perspective, that makes us unique in the market, and that makes us probably one of the biggest in what we offer.
Right, and definitely we're all looking for the trade enabler.
Yeah.
At this point, from your knowledge of the industry so far, how much of the transaction will you say you've been able to enable so far, and what are you projecting?
We are projecting in obviously full completion of the facility to probably do well over 1.5 to 2 million metric tons in the next 4 or 5 years. And this is going to be a multi-user, multi-sector business. So we will have pharma in there, we will have tech in there. We've got reaches on automotive, we've got oil and gas, we've got chemical. And this is the beauty about what we're trying to do, is being able to offer custom tailor-made solutions in different sectors. And people has questioned us in the past about how that could physically be possible. But we've achieved this in so many different countries, understanding that it's all about being specific to a client's solutions. And at the end of the day, this is where we build confidence, this is where we build trust, and this is how we create a success story to the market, because as our clients grow, we grow. And this is how we see it. And we're actually very excited to bring in new entry clients as well, whether it's a local business or an international business, and walk the journey with them, because we pride ourselves in those stories.
Right, and definitely seeing that you've operated, in East Africa, Southern Africa, I'm sure you have some interesting stories of,
Yes.
how you've been able to enable, some companies
Yes.
scale,
Yeah.
with your business.
Yeah. So, I mean, a simple example was Heineken in East Africa. They came there with a whole marketing team. They had not had a solution around an import of record. Their plan was to evacuate East Africa completely. And we basically had the stock already in the facilities, and we said, look, why don't we become the import of record for the clients? So basically, as a solution, we started becoming more than just a supply chain. We became the value chain by doing the trading. And we had the stock in our balance sheets. Basically trading on Heineken's behalf. We had the route to market team, we had the sales teams, we had the debtors and creditors department, and we literally just discussed at the end of the month the performances, around the numbers to Heineken, and that worked tremendously. So it's all about scale, it's all about the business case, and it's all about where our clients want to position themselves strategically within the market.
Right, and when I have CEOs with me, sometimes I like to always ask this question. When you're coming to a new country or you're doing business in a country like Nigeria, what would you say keeps you up at night? And what would you say about the economy that's helping you sleep?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's always believed that you want to leave a legacy, and you want to leave a place. For us, the excitement is to create a complete new sector, opportunities for young Nigerians. It is really investing back into the community. It's about creating job opportunities, and really, as we know, that the competition will come, but this will open up a sector for great scale, and creating something that I believe in the market is much needed, looking at the demand. I mean, looking at the consumer market, 230 million people, there's an absolute need for, reliable and, absolute, standard logistics that complies to, global standards. And that really is what makes me sleep quite well. What keeps me up is the challenges. I mean, obviously there's challenges in the market, but again, it's in any country. It's in Africa. We've had the same issues in South Africa. We had different issues in Kenya. And it's really trying to adapt. I mean, sometimes you need to change your strategy, but you never change your goal. And really, you need to be flexible within, the borders of every country in order to survive. And that really, if you can adapt, to those conditions, you will do all right in life. And this is really where we are with Nigeria. The great thing is, I think we've got a significant response in the market to what we do, and the interest is definitely there. And I do feel that, seeing this in the past where clients might not see the value of it now until somebody else decides to be the pioneering entity to do it and realize it and understand the value of it, and then usually that becomes an enabler to the rest of the, of the sectors.
I like that one. When it gets tough, you can change your strategy.
Yeah.
But don't change the goal.
You don't change the goal, yeah.
Don't change the goal.
No, never the goal.
For nothing.
100%. We got to stick it out.
Fantastic. What do you see in the next 10 years?
Well, I mean, for us, it's about, really, putting up scale. It's about, becoming a well-established brand with a Nigerian. I think this is for us, we want to make this a Nigerian story. We've got, the backing from, obviously our investors. And this is about, making something unique in the market that doesn't exist and really trying to contribute to, I believe, the next, industrial growth phase of Nigeria.
Fantastic.
And I think our timing is absolutely right.
Fantastic. It was great having this conversation with you. Thank you so much. I was speaking with Arno van der Merwe, the Chief Executive Officer, TY Logistics Park, FZE. Let's get
tongue twisters there.
Thank you so much. It was great having you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll find out what's happening in the global space. Just stay with us.